All right, good evening officially. This is our second Red Zone meeting to help us be prepared for Red Zone. Thank you for coming on. This is for directors and parents and for anyone who really wants to join. There's no limitation to who can join us, but we do want to make sure that we are as ready for Red Zone as possible, and we are happy to be able to partner with you in getting you ready for Red Zone. So thank you for doing that. And as we look to the future here coming up, there are some things we do want to make sure that we're going over with you to help you be as prepared as possible. And one of those things is upcoming deadline. Has anybody heard of deadlines? Those are things that are coming up pretty quick. And we'll take a moment here to just refresh our minds and make sure that we are all tracking on the same page. So I'm going to share a screen with you so that we can review some of that and then we'll go through it. So you should be able to see on your screen the website, and this is where all your information is. We want you to continue to come here and poke through the website. You'll get lots of answers to the questions that you have from the website, and I'm going to go here under the registration info, the info for deadlines. So I'm going to put that there. Um, just so that you know kind of where we are, we've already closed our pins. I'm sorry. Yeah, our pins have been done. Regular registration has already started. Early bird has already closed. And this is where we are in the process of preparing for Red Zone. So as you look here, you'll see the next deadline is coming up tomorrow. And that's when shirt orders close. And some people have wondered where you get shirts. How do you do that? That is an item that you have to purchase. And we've sent out postings in the newsletter. We've sent out stuff on Facebook to help you know how to do that. But just remember that is closing. Probably the bigger date that we want you to remember is on April 28th, which is tomorrow at Monday. That's when anybody who's an adult, 18 or older, who plans to attend Red Zone should have already started their background check in YMM in Sterling. And the reason that's important is because it takes time, right? Sterling background checks take time. So we need to to make sure that everybody's aware of that. And this is key. If you wait to do your background check, then you will probably end up missing regular registration. And that means that there'll be a short window for the registrations at the higher fees, and we don't want you to have to do that. But those things are coming. So if you do start it and complete it by tomorrow, your background check, we'll work with you. That's your ticket to saying we're still going to get in at the $15 rate. If you miss this, you're really playing roulette with your opportunity to register adults. If it clears by the 5th of May, perfect. You're okay. If it doesn't, you won't be able to register. And this is what we'll look to. We'll look to April 28th. So this is the time to go through, check with your accounts, make sure that you're looking through everybody who needs to come in, and make sure that we get going and get everything set up. So that's where we are for that. And then there are some other deadlines coming up on May 1. This isn't, this is a deadline for an open thing, right? This is to open um, Pathfinder skill events. So many of you will be signing young people up for that, Pathfinders from your clubs. Just to remind everyone, for Pathfinder skill events, it's more of a number and that you're participating in that event. So that's another registration to make sure you stay on top of. Meals will open up on May 1, and then food vendor registration will close. So if you want to be a food vendor, make some money, do some fundraising for your club, that's another deadline. And this one is a big one. Last I knew, we are sold out of medical golf carts. So if that's the deadline was May 1 and less sold out, and that's already sold out, there is an email that you got to do if you're in drill and drum, and there's stuff you got to do in YMMS, and there's stuff you got to do through email. So please make sure you pay attention to that. There are some deadlines that are both in YMMS and both by email to the directors for drill and drum. So pay attention to that so you don't miss out. We have had some people say, I can't register my drum team. I can't register my drill team. Most of the time, anybody want to guess why you can't? Hmm. Most of the time, you can't register them for drill or drum because you have not yet registered them for red zone. And the system is built to say until you're registered for red zone, you can't register for other stuff. That's also going to be true For PSE, if you try to register individuals for things that aren't registered already for Red Zone. So the first step always is to register for the event, right? Register for Red Zone. Once you've done that, then you can register them for drum, you can register for them drill, you can open other things for your team. So if that's your issue in YMMS, it's not that the system's broken, it's that the system's doing exactly what it's built to do, is prevent people from signing up for stuff at the event without signing up for the event. So please keep that in mind. And then this big one in green is May 5. That's when registration will close at 1 p.m. in YMMS. So please do all you can to get registered. I know our team's working hard to stay on top of it. I know Leah's doing great at answering emails and answering calls and making sure people keep on track. But that's a big one, May 5. That's when registration closes for the $15 per person rate. So we want to make sure that everyone that can gets in because we'd like you to get in at the best rate possible. All right. Any questions so far on those deadlines? Okay, let's keep going. The next thing that we'd like to go over is swaps. Swaps don't open until registration closes. That's a big distinction we want to make sure you know. You can't start opening we won't once we close registration, you can start swapping and doing all that and changing tickets, but it's for those only already cleared. That's another big thing we want to make sure everyone hears. It's only for those who are already cleared. So please keep that in mind as well. But swaps will open and swaps will stay open until May 19. So you'll have almost 2 weeks of swaps. So if people change their mind or do things, you can still do all that. Another closing date is Red Zone, River Ranch. So River Ranch, that's the water park that will close on May 12. Again, this we're reviewing all the deadlines because we want to make sure everybody sees it. Sometimes just because it's posted on the web doesn't mean you go and look at it, but that's what we're trying to do is make sure everybody goes, looks at the documents on the web. We've tried to be as thorough as possible. Sometimes we got to fix some things, but most of the time we're being as accurate as we can. And so River Ranch closes May 12. On May 13, honors open. And Eartha, as our Red Zone director, has been working with a team to get lots of honors so that your Pathfinders will have opportunities to do things. For adventures, there is no sign up and there is no set of awards that you can do as an adventure. That's just part of your afternoon rotation on Sabbath afternoon. They have crafts and different activities, but they don't have a sign up for awards for adventures. And then May 15, this is the date where you get to sign people up, register them for Red Zone that you couldn't swap, you couldn't make any other change. They didn't tell you they wanted to come, or now they finally made up their mind that they want to come. And registration opens on May 15, but for a short window from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's the short window on May 15 where you can go ahead and get involved and be set with your late registration. The final part here, as we close down on important deadlines, is Red Zone swaps close on Monday, May 19. Pathfinder skill events close on Monday, May 19. And also basketball, soccer tournament registration, all that will close as well here, and all the honors registration close. The reason is on Monday, May 19, everything closes so we can do the final prep to get ready to see you at Camp Kalakwa, right? To get to Red Zone. So we shut all that down. And then our commitment to you is by 6 p.m. on Tuesday night, after we've already closed the late registration online, we've done all that we need to. You've done all your swaps, all that's closed. You've registered for everything that's possible to register for. All that closes, and then that gives us Tuesday to clean up things. And then Tuesday night, you can start printing tickets. And the reason that you print tickets is because you can't get in to Camp Kalakwa for Red Zone without your ticket, right? It's that simple. So please make sure that you're doing that and going through that. So those are the important deadlines. I wanted to make sure everyone sees that and everyone gets a chance to go through that. Any questions on the deadlines? Bernie, I see your hand.
Yeah, really fast. I was able to swap a family of four already, and I just heard you say that it doesn't open yet. Once it opens, does that mean my swaps will go back that I've already done, or?
No, and thank you for that clarification. I saw Evelyn's eyes roll a little bit too when I said that. So I was like, I think I'll
I
have
have
to
an
clarify
answer.
that. Leah?
So every time we open registration, while the registration is active, the swaps are working, unless the person is not cleared. When we close everything, then I switch the settings. Then you can only swap, but you cannot pay. So the only way you cannot swap right now if somebody is not eligible or not clear in sterling.
So your swaps that you do now will stay effective, right? That's
Yes,
not going
and
to
you can
change
have
that.
a ticket printed with the name of the person that you swept when you're ready to print the ticket.
Correct. And so that's a good clarification question. So swaps that you do now, you can do swaps. That's true. So I misspoke on that. Once registration closes, we'll hold swaps down for that 24 hours till we get back to open for swaps officially after registration closes. So yes, you can swap now. We'll shut that down for a moment to close registration, then we'll open it back up for those almost 2 weeks. So you can keep making your swaps. All right. We have our red zone director here with us, and I want to give Eartha a chance to share with you anything that's on her mind as she thinks about red zone. We've got Leah here with us. Also, if you have any questions about registration or check-in, I do just want to remind everyone tomorrow two big things happen. One, it's your last chance to complete your Sterling volunteers, where we'll work with you to meet the May 5 deadline. If you pass that date, then it's up to you whether or not it makes it. It's up to Sterling. We can't fast track that. We can't make it go any quicker. And if you don't get cleared by May 5 without having completed by April 28, then regular registration will close and you'll only have the late online or the late on-site rate and option at that point. So please make sure to complete that deadline. The other thing is shirts, and we want to make sure that everybody that wants a shirt gets a shirt. We will order a few more beyond what we get pre-ordered and prepaid, but don't count on a lot of shirts being available because usually whatever is pre-ordered is what goes, and we don't want to keep a lot of inventory. So please make sure you're watching for that. All right, let me turn it over to Eartha, and then we'll open it up for Leah if she has anything that she wants to add to us as well.
I'll start with shirts, Pastor, since as you were talking about shirts. So I've
Yeah.
had the question asked, and I know it's in YMMS, but I just wanted to ensure that the masses here. I think they have had the questions about adventure size shirts,
Yeah.
and that do we offer adventure shirts? Yes, we do.
We
The
do.
sizes are in YMMS. I think the post went out and the shirt size looked big there, and so that question came up. So I wanted to just
Got it.
clarify that and address that. They can select that in YMMS.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Also, we are still, this is the week that we turn all the honors into the office so that they can upload it to YMMS. This year, you're going to be able to select your honors through YMMS instead of Constant Contact. We're still looking for some additional honors, so you have until Wednesday the 30th if you can help us with additional honors. We have over 3,000+ youth registered coming to Red Zone. And so we're trying to ensure that as many as possible can get honors and activities and so forth. So please help us out if you can. Just let us know which honor you would like to teach. You can reach out to me at Red Zone Director, you can text me, or you can let your area administrator know and they can let us know. Also, we are doing something new, Pastor. We can say it here. We're doing something new at Red Zone this year. So we're going to have a mental health therapist available at Red Zone to help our young people get through some of the stresses and the difficulties of life. So we'll have that ability where they will be able to go in and be able to speak to them. It's going to be set up similar to if you did Blaze. It's that kind of a setting where they have like a group. So you'll see in the morning on Sabbath, we'll have a tent out where they'll be kind of promoting it and having the youth be comfortable with the therapist being there, sharing some information. And then in the afternoon, that will move into a room where they will be able to, talk through how to get through emotional things and so forth. And they'll have some handouts, how to deal with anxiety, how to deal with stress, 333 or 543 54321 methods or help to help our young people. So please be aware, if you know of anyone, you can let us know, and we'll be happy to assist them. One other thing, when you sign up, there are a few honors that will have some notes on there that the instructors are asking that the Pathfinder, if they select that honor, for example, I think there's two that they will ask them to do a prerequisite of one of the things. I think music is one, for example, where it asks them to say list 15 songs or hymns and bring those to the honor if they select that honor, as well as there's another one where they're just asking them to look at, I think, number 8. They'll ask them to look at the honor and be able to complete that honor. So look for those notes if you're selecting those, that the Pathfinders are adhering to what the instructor is asking for that honor, and that they will do the prerequisite before selecting and coming to the honor, so that, they're coming in to be successful with it. Those are some of the things. Oh, one more thing. We are still looking for additional help. And if you are an OAV on here, please send your time that you are coming to camp. Let us know what time you're coming. There's different tasks and different things that we need your help with completing and getting ready for 2 p.m. opening. So I'm going to try to reach out to you all. I'm going to ask for your arrival time so that we can assign tasks and help us be ready to open camp at 2. I think that's all I have for now, Pastor, as we continue to talk. If I have something else, I will come back in and share.
Perfect. And before we
Thank you.
jump to Leah, let me thank you for the updates. Eartha, let me go through the chat and just share some things there. Honors registration happens in YMMS, so just watch for that. There's no special link. It's one of the registrations there. Also, the question is, can Adventure sign up for Pathfinder Honors? The answer is no. Pathfinder Honors are for Pathfinders at Red Zone, so please don't sign up there. Late registration is online May 15 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So please keep that in mind, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that's open only for 5 hours. Correct. And it is the same day. So it opens for a very short window. This is, hey, I missed it. I couldn't do it. Somebody changed their mind. Somebody finally made up their mind. It's one chance to get in. And then after that, those 5 hours, the only other option is on site to sign up, and that's where the fee is high, because we don't want you to do that. We want to make sure we get you set up and get your camping space set up and do all those things, and we need to have you registered to be able to do that. All right.
Oh, one more
you.
thing, as they're
Yeah.
registering, Pastor, if they're contemplating like who wants to tent next to whom, they should start thinking about that, because I think our camping director, Javier, will need that information as well, so that he can ensure that the space is, appropriately mapped for them
That's
to
true.
accommodate camping next to whomever they choose, if that's something they're interested in.
Yes, thank you very much for that. And we'll try to accommodate as best we can. If you're in the same area, that's easier. If you're in a different area, that makes it a little harder, but we will try to do what we can to get you guys as close as possible. And sometimes Pathfinders and Adventurers want to camp close to each other. Sometimes they don't really have a preference. So it just depends on the club and the club leadership. Sometimes it's also based on whether or not you're sharing resources, right? Okay. Leah, is there anything from your side that you're seeing or that you want to share with everyone tonight?
I'm getting emails, a lot of emails, and the most common question is when people cannot register somebody who is 18 years old. So they usually send me a name, I check in Sterling, and I either send them an invoice or I register them or I let director register them and pay. Second one, there's a lot of lists I receive, like a bunch of people, and it says, please for Sterling, please check for Sterling. And when I go to YMMS, it's not matching the actual Sterling. It's either the middle name is missing, the birthday is wrong, or the Sterling date is incorrect. So if you want me to help you, please check it. Or if you don't have an opportunity or you don't have a level 2 person who can check it for you, just let me know. Say, I don't have anybody, please help me, because when it's 30, 40 people in one setting, I have to actually manually go to profile of the person, then open their Sterling and go one by one and check it. There was one question about PayPal. The link, if you already start the payment, the link is only good for 24 hours. If you send it to a treasurer, you try to pay for that and it didn't work, the next time you're gonna go there, it will say, is there either a PayPal issue or you cannot proceed. In this case, I will have to delete that payment, and you will have to reselect it. And the t-shirt, I have a question here about t-shirts. If you, okay, that's the same question. So if you cannot come back and select more t-shirt, that means that your payment was frozen and you cannot go back. I sent email yesterday to all of the clubs that register for drill, asking what style they would like to participate. 75% answered me already, some didn't. So if you have a chance to check your email, please. We need to get your folders for your competition, and for it to be nice and good, I need to know what styles are you participating in. And so most of the problems are the sterling and the clearance. If there are any questions for me, please send me an email to my personal email address, leahsikulchuk@floridaconference.com, and I'll try to help you. I'm trying to do my best to answer everyone.
Thank you, Leah, and you've helped so many people already. Please do just remember that a lot of things are things that you can do as director or secretary, and those things we expect that you would do. So if there's a sterling thing that's got to be entered the date or the date's incorrect, please double check that on your own. It'll save you time from having to email Leah, then waiting. That's something you can fix. You need to go into the YMMS, fix the date for the correct date, the spelling, you can check those two as well. A best practice would be from the very beginning of the year, you're looking at all of the director or secretary are going through all of your staff's driver's license and making sure that the sterling match, that their registration in YMMS match, that the dates match for their birth date, and all those things match. And then when you go to enter dates for completing sterling, you should have fewer problems. So please make sure that those are some things you're doing. As we get closer to May 5, people will panic more and more because they just didn't do what they needed to do, or they didn't complete it, or they're waiting for this answer. And we don't want you to panic, but we also want you to know that you don't have to panic because there's a lot that can be done in advance.
I have one more
Yes,
thing.
Leah.
Ms. Sterling, please, if any of your members or you forgot the password for Sterling, if you need to renew it, or if you're a new member and you need to create an account and then you went back and then you went log in and you forgot it, please do not create a whole new account, because now I have every other church double up on accounts. So a person did in 2019 figured out, oh, I want to go to Red Zone. Oh, I forgot my password. Instead of calling the number, they created a whole new account. They changed one day in their birthday. They changed one letter in their name and they tried to run it. So we see it, and we will have to ask you to redo it again because you're running your Sterling with the wrong identification. So I had to ask the person send me a driver's license, and I had to compare it, and I had to call and we had to fix it. So please just call them, ask for help, or me, I can help you to call them. Just don't create a whole new account. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. I do see the hands. Let me get to some of the stuff in the chat real quick, then I'll come to the hands. I see 3 of them.
And then
Some
Pastor,
people in
I
the
have
chat.
another comment when you're done.
Okay, some people in the chat were asking about the high school information. Where do they send information? I entered the email to send Eartha the information for your graduation, your Pathfinders or even adventurers that are graduating. Please send in their information there. Would love to recognize your students at Red Zone, but we can't if you don't send it to us. And Eartha, is there a deadline to send that information?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. The deadline to receive the submission is the 30th of April. So please pay attention to that. Late submission is not guaranteed because I do have to send those to the PR team to ensure that they will, be able to mesh them and get one video ready. So there is a deadline for that. And I also want to I know you touched a little bit on it, that we have different sports and things coming up, but Saturday night is going to be a heavy sports night at Red Zone. So we're looking forward and excited for options that everyone has beside drill. They'll have the option to participate the basketball. There'll be a registration when honors and activities open that they'll be able to register for that. And we also will have a soccer tournament, and we're having a volleyball that's going to be open, like a free for all volleyball. And we also have flag football. So there's lots of sporting options that is going to be available on Saturday night. And pay attention, there's information on the website. There's some registration or consent form that needs to be signed for some of these things that need to get back to the office. So please ensure that you are completing those and sending them in a timely manner. Okay?
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. And all of the sports Saturday night are for Pathfinder age young people. The adventures are doing their bug races, they have their hay rides, and then they will have a few other games, but they are mainly turning in early is what our adventure team is planning, except for those who stay up late. There is a question in the chat about bug races. The bug races, it says I'm a first time doing it. Is there a minimum you can enter with one bug for your club, or you can have one bug for every kid and you have 50 kids? So there is no minimum to be a part of the bug race. Thank you for that question. Also, someone asked about ticks. Ticks are a part of being in the woods. I was at camp meeting this weekend and they said they sprayed for ticks in certain areas, and they will do that for red zone as well, but that doesn't guarantee that you won't have ticks. So please do check yourself because we are out there in the woods.
I saw a question about staff if they can participate in the tournaments. The tournaments are for the Pathfinder age 10 to 17 at this time.
Yes. Okay. We will be able to take our bus to unload at our site. It depends where your camping site is, because we don't want to send buses back that get stuck in the sand, because that will jam up our roads. So that will depend, and it also depends when you arrive. If you arrive after 11 p.m., no, buses aren't going to go back in. But please do contact us and let us know what goes in. And there's a question from Deborah about what should be sent in. There was a flyer that was made. If this flyer wasn't something that you saw, that has all the information about the video to send, the different details and items. Maybe Eartha, you could respond to that in the chat a little bit more. Street soccer, yes, for Pathfinders. Yeah. Counselors, at this point, no, unless you're under 18 or under. Skill events, yes, are registered for online. And most of the events require E-Track or varsity.
6.
Yeah, okay. So we'll
5 or 4.
Sorry, someone
needs to mute.
Yeah, thank you. All right, let me go to the hands. Let's go to Daryl, our distinguished drum director, who's had his hand up and waiting patiently, and then the other two as well. Let's go to Daryl.
Well, thank you, Pedro. Good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to say, Pedro and Eartha, that I am here if you have any questions concerning the drum competition, drums, etc., that you may not be able to answer, but just know that I'm in the chat and I'm ready to answer questions if anyone has any for drums.
I appreciate that, and I have seen your responses already in the chat regarding shoes for drill and drum. Thank you for that.
You are welcome.
All right, let's go to the next hand, Takesha.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I have 2 questions. So I heard that with our adventurers that are going to Pathfinders, that you guys needed the list. If I already sent in my list in my AOA, do I need to send it in to you guys as well?
Sorry, say that again. You sent your list in to whom?
To my area director.
Okay, yeah, please do make sure that you send it in again.
Okay.
Just to make sure that we get it, because I don't know that they've been forwarding that information to us, or if they have, I don't know who's getting it. Eartha, who's coordinating all of the adventures that are transferring from adventures to Pathfinders? And this is a chance to just share with everyone that this year for Red Zone, there'll be a special ceremony Sunday morning to recognize those Pathfinders who have made the decision once they've completed adventures that they want to move forward to be Pathfinders. And so we're excited to celebrate with them. Most of the time, churches will also do something special for those young people as a ceremony and rite of passage. But for that list of which young people we want to be a part of that, that clubs have told us these kids are going on to Pathfinders? Who's coordinating that list on the adventure team?
I know Juliet was working with that, so I don't think she's on, but we could try to get her email address, maybe drop there. When in
Okay.
doubt, they can always reach out to Lisa, but I know Juliet was working on that. Let me try to drop her email there.
That's
Thank you.
fine. And no, that is my area director, so it works
Okay.
perfect. Okay, good.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank
Okay.
you.
And my second question is, I heard that you guys were talking about separation with Adventures and Pathfinders, if I'm correct. If I am registering my club, for Red Zone and we're camping, and I have Adventurers and I have Pathfinders, are we gonna be together, or I have to request for my Pathfinders and my Adventurers for us to be together as a club?
Yeah, usually that would be a request. It's not a necessary default that we require clubs to be together. So if you could email our office team, and for any of the questions, the general questions, if you have them, you can send them to the generic email, which is path.adv. I'm going to put that in the chat, and that will help you. So anyone can email us there. If you don't know where it goes or who the question's for, you can email us at path.adv@floridaconference.com, and we'll send it off to the right person for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Is this Heike?
Yes, quick question. We were talking about Sterling. What is
Yeah.
if somebody is still valid in Sterling through past red zone, but they've changed their name on the driver's license, either they got married, divorced, whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
How are they going to verify? Because their name would still be matching their previous as they're still valid in Sterling.
Got you. So I think ideally all of it would match and you'd update it. And if they haven't gotten their ID yet, please just email us so that we have that and we know and we're aware of it so that we can anticipate that. And when we see someone from whatever club it is, we know, oh, this person, watch for that. And we can let our check-in team know to be watching for that.
They already register, right?
Well, we have a lot of people that have been cleared already over the last 3 years, and their Sterling is good through through Red Zone. But if they've had any changes, I've already got a bunch of them registered in YMMS, but we have not confirmed with everybody that they have not had any name changes since they've cleared Sterling in the last 3 years. We've never
Yeah.
bothered asking them if they possibly have had any name changes since then.
A lot
Yeah,
can
I will
change
need
in
their
3
names
years.
and I
Yeah.
can check in Sterling, but they can also call them and say that we need to update the last name. So to avoid the issue at the check-in, when they tell me, of course, I'm gonna have a list of possible people with that issue. But also if we just log in Sterling and they can update it before they come on site, I will see that, okay, this is matching this, and YMMS was just a little issue because they were already registered. So I
Okay.
would still let them call and update in Sterling, because if I'm not there, somebody will check Sterling and they will be fine because it will
Okay.
match the license.
Okay, so we'll have to basically just let everybody know, double check to make sure your name has not changed since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And I like that answer. If they can contact Sterling and ask them to help update it to match ID, that only simplifies things for everybody. Very good. Thank you for the question. Let's go to the next one. It says iPhones and Andy. iPhones, Andy.
I had to figure out how to unmute this thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
You did it.
Yes, it's Sandy.
Oh,
I need to know if, since we do have a bus, and that is how we bring our everything, our food, our equipment, the kids, everything. Is there a way that, because you said that it depends on where we're situated on the map as far as where we're going to be located.
yeah.
If we get there before 11 o'clock, is there some way that someone can make sure we're in an area that would be safe for the bus to go down?
We could work on that. If you can send me an email and tell me the name of the person making the request, which in this case I think is you, Sandy. Good to hear your voice.
Good to hear you.
You would put down, we have a bus. We need to be on a main road where a bus can come in to get access to drop off our stuff.
Mhm.
And then we would ask you as much as possible to get that bus inside your camping area to unload it and then back out back into the road with adults watching as you move or security
Right.
people, and then get back on the road and move on your way. So yes, if there's a special request like that, we need that request in writing so we can start to compile those lists.
So request it to you, sir?
Please.
Okay. I will not be there, but I will, the director, Ray Stevenson, and
Yeah.
I believe we have two bus drivers also with him that, so
Great.
we've got plenty of people to do what you're requesting
I
about
like
getting
it.
it into the place and all that. So
Okay.
that'll work.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you, sir. You have a blessed night.
You too. All right, let's go to Randa. And by the way, if I may, for a moment, brag on Randa. She's one of our directors who took their PBE team to Battle Creek, Michigan,
Yeah,
and all 19 teams came back as first place teams.
we
So
did.
we are so happy for them, and all of the Southern Union teams, all 38 of those teams, also have come back as first place teams. So
Yes.
Randa, thank you for what you do, and for everyone else with PBE, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. My question is actually for Eartha. You mentioned that the honors registration opens on the 13th. I just wanted to know if there would be a pre-list available just to let the Pathfinders know what
Yeah.
honors are available, or do I have to wait until the 13th?
No, so I'm submitting them at the end of by Wednesday, and they'll be added. I guess we could have a pre-list to show them, but you wouldn't be able to select it until the opening on the 13th.
Fine. I just want to let them know these are the honors available, and
We'll try for that.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's a great question. It's nice
Yeah.
to know what you're going to choose from before it opens. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, let's go over to Rose Angel.
Hi there, how are you?
Hey, good. Thank you for your question.
Good. It's a quick one. It's just about the skilled events. If we don't, I know most of them require an e-tracker and varsity. We don't have a lot of varsity, so do we have to adhere to that?
Yeah,
Or
No. No, the question is if you have for example, if you just have one level, for example, e-tracker only, the only
Yeah.
thing you have to ensure that it is a boy and a girl. But if you only have
Oh.
e-tracker or you only have varsity, they'll take that team. Just have to ensure there's a boy and a girl on the team.
Perfect. Okay, that helps a lot. Thank you so much.
yeah, very good. Let me jump to a couple things from the chat real quick. If you're playing football or want to play football and you just have two kids that want to play, can you still be involved? You don't have a whole team. We will do our best to get everyone involved that says they want to be involved, and we'll pair kids from different clubs and put them together. So yeah, we don't want, if I only have two that want to play football, they can't make a team, so they can't be involved. No, we want them to still sign up. We'll help them find a team, and then even with whoever's there, we'll put that all together. So that's a good thing. The Class A uniform is a question. Class A uniform for girls in camp. Are they able to wear pants this time? I think the standard usually we have is we just like the club to be uniform in whatever they're doing. So if one girl's wearing pants, all the girls wear pants. If one girl's wearing skirts, then all the other girls wear skirts. I don't know that there's a strict rule on that from the conference side for Red Zone, but we would encourage you to do one thing for the club. So if you're going to be in pants for girls, be in pants. If you're going to be in skirts, do skirts. If you can't do it all and you got to come mixed, no one's going to point that out to you or give you take away points from you. So don't worry about that. The contact for the graduates information, that's earlier up in the chat, maybe. Oh, Earth
And I
already
reposted it a
yeah.
couple of times, so it should be down, and I've been reposting it a little bit.
Yep. And soccer is for fun. So that's there. Eartha did the graduation stuff again. And the contact for adventures. Tell me more
Oh,
about
Juliet.
adventures.
Let me drop Juliet. Sorry, I got
that's
sidetracked.
Juliet.
Admin. I'll drop.
Okay, good. And then let's go to our questions. I see Jesus's hand up. Welcome from Tampa, Spanish.
Yes. Good evening, Pastor. Just a quick clarification on the PSCs, because you mentioned that for all of them you need a girl and a boy, but that's not what the rules say. Some of them just say an e-tracker and a varsity. So I need to check, because I'm already running pretty light on my kids, and I need to make sure I can get them in there.
Got you.
Yeah, I
That's a
know
good
several of
question.
those questions came up, and that was the response. So if you have a side, we could try to get further clarification for you, but I know several clubs had that question. Could I participate if I don't have a mixture of both? And the response was, you go with whatever you have, you just ensure that there is a boy and a girl.
No, I understand, but
Yeah.
for example, in archery, it doesn't say anything about a boy or girl. It strictly just says 2 participants, 1 varsity, 1 e-tracker.
Okay. And if you don't have an e-tracker, for example, then you would go with what you have at that point. If you know what I'm saying? If you don't have a varsity and you only have e-tracker, then you go with it. If you only have varsity, then you go with it. If there's no boy and girl
Okay.
for that event, then it would be null and void. You would go with what it is asking you for. But there was a few that talked about the different levels and the boy girl situation. So I guess I was mainly addressing those
Mhm.
throughout the week, and so that's why I knew that answer quickly for you.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing because again, we do read them and we do check to make sure what the requirements are. But some of them, again, mentioned the boy and girl. Some of them did not. They mentioned e-tracker varsity. So I just want
Fine.
to make sure because again, I'm spreading my kids thin as it is right now.
Sure.
And if I have a team that is for example 2 boys, I don't want to get there and then they go like, well, you don't have a girl. I'm like, well, it didn't say anything about a girl. it's the
Okay.
e-tracker and varsity.
I'm gonna try to find that answer and come back to you in just a second.
All
We'll
right.
find it for you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Eartha. And yeah, we will go back through and make sure that what we're posting in terms of the requirements matches what's on YMMS to minimize that confusion. Thank you for the heads up on that. All right, let's go to Annika.
Hi.
Hi.
Where will the soccer be at?
Yeah, so at Red Zone, you have the water park, and then we have the field where the drill and drum will happen. Then you have the food vendors, and then the field from there before you get to the horse barn, that will be the field. So we'll bring in artificial lights to light up that area for soccer.
Okay, thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
where the information for the parent and guardian be at? Because Emily could not find it.
Tell me more about that parent and guardian.
Yeah, the parent and guardian waiver form. Emily Needman could not find it.
Tell me more about parent and guardian waiver form for which event?
The soccer event.
Oh, that should be on the website. Are you saying it's not on the website?
No, Emily could not find the form for the soccer.
I'm making a note and I'll go
Let me
review
check.
the website and make sure that we get that up there this week to have the form.
Right. You get
Someone's trying to make a comment, but
thank
I don't
you.
hear it. Yeah, check the website later and we'll make sure
There's
that we
only
get that.
guidelines. There's no form.
Yeah, and we'll try to get that posted for the soccer. But if you're looking for the basketball one, just scroll down to the bottom of the page and you'll see the information there for that. And we'll try to get the soccer one up for you.
there for that.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Very good. I think we're up to speed on all the questions. I think we've got all the hands. We will have another meeting. It will be on May 12. This will be after the deadline for regular registration. This will also be a final walkthrough in terms of what to expect as you arrive. We'll go through parking. We do just want to remind everyone, clubs will be limited in the number of vehicles that do enter camp. That is something that we've started to do to try to limit the vehicles that go in. So that helps us make sure that those vehicles come back out. So please make sure that you're already, as a director, talking to your club and saying, hey, who's planning to arrive at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or maybe 7 o'clock? And that you would be planning all the vehicles and all the people that are coming in a way that you kind of stagger your arrivals. So some person gets the tag, goes in, and then they unload and come back out. That in-out pass is simply that, to go in, unload, and exit. There is one vehicle that each club will get. That vehicle goes in, parks in the campsite, or parks at the lodge or the building for camp that you have purchased for the weekend, and that vehicle stays parked. Whether it's a vehicle at one of the lodging areas or at the campsite, once we get to 10 p.m. on Friday night, those vehicles remain parked until Sunday morning 9:30. So please talk to your parents, talk to those who are driving. Let them know, hey, we're glad you're going to take your kids to Red Zone. If you need to leave before 9:30 a.m. on Sunday, please make sure you park outside in the long-term parking. In the long-term parking, you can come and go as much as you need to throughout the weekend. And if you need to leave early, you can go to your vehicle and drive out. No one will stop you. So please keep that in mind. That is something we want clubs to coordinate. That's something we're asking clubs to talk to their parents. Another best practice, many clubs will have a parent meeting before an event like this to just go through and share all the details with parents. We have found that one of the things that is frustrating for parents is when they think I can just show up and drop off my kid and it'll be no problem. Well, there are some things that are going to have to be in place for that to happen. You're going to have a staff member that's there that can come take that child back into the camping area. And all of those exchanges, we're asking that they happen in the short-term parking. Short-term parking isn't for the weekend. Short-term parking is I'm meeting somebody to drop somebody off. We're going to meet here to wait for the pass from the one person that's already in for the in-out pass to come back out to give it to us. And they know who they're looking for. They have the phone number so they can call them. But if you're staying for the weekend, you should slide over into long-term parking. So some of those details of parking and all that that's happening, we want to make sure all of our clubs are ready for that. Again, limited number of vehicles per club will be allowed in, and clubs will need to negotiate with each other how to work with the in-out pass, because each club gets one overnight parking pass and one in-out pass, and the in-out pass is what's negotiated back and forth as cars go in, unload, and come out, and pass that pass on to the next person. So please keep that in mind. Those are details we'll get you more information on May 12th, but we just wanted to start that process of helping you think through what are the things that I need to do to be ready for Red Zone. People that are staying at Woodland Lodge, there are parking spaces in front of Woodland Lodge. So you can park there, but we're asking that each club, if you have one room, you get one vehicle pass for that Woodland Lodge room. So that's where everyone else who doesn't have a pass will need to go to long-term parking. So you can unload and then move on and go back. There's another question. Is there anything planned for fumigating ticks? That's come up several times. So for ticks, just know that you are in the woods and there is a chance you'll get ticks, and know that yes, we've talked to camp and we've asked for them to make sure that they are doing the best that they can to fumigate where ticks might be in the wooded areas, but you will need to check yourself. We do have some clubs who missed out on housing and are commuting. And so when you come into camp, you would go park in the long-term parking, and that's where you have in-out privileges. So long-term parking for those who are staying off-site, that's your main option. You'd come in, you'd go park at long-term parking, you'd show your wristbands and walk in with everybody. And then when you're done for the day to go back to your hotel, you'd come back to long-term parking, get your vehicle, and go ahead and exit at that point. So that's how we'll handle that for those who are staying in hotels. Once again, graduation deadline is April 30, so we'd love to honor your graduates, but we need to get their information, and Eartha's put all the details in the chat.
And one more thing, Pastor, if you do have any adventurers or pathfinders that would like to get baptized at Red Zone, please let us know that as well. You can email the office and just let us know that they're interested in being baptized at Red Zone.
Very good. Thank you for that. All right. Any other questions before we close for tonight? I do want to encourage you to continue to go to the website. I think that's the best place where you get the best information about what's happening and what's going on. And we would just encourage you to continue to take advantage of the website. So if you haven't been there lately, please make sure you do that. And I'm going to go one more time just to share that with you, because I'd like you to see some things. and then we'll start to close. But I want to share one more time the website. So if I'm a director or a secretary and I'm looking for information, my first place would be to floridaconference.com/redzone. And that's where I would go. Please spend 10, 15 minutes just poking around. Registration information, details, deadlines, all that's there. Check-in information, check-in at camp, parking, there's some information there. Housing and meals, that information's there. Eartha just mentioned the baptism, that information is there. Some adventure only details. So if you're looking for information about bug races and those kinds of things, you can get that here. Basketball and soccer, a map. We're going to work on that next week. We're working on that. The school excuse letter's already there. Pathfinder skill events, some details. The schedule will be posting soon. A vendor contract for those who want to be vendors. And then there's a whole section on drill and drum. So if you're looking for drill and drum information, you can get it there. Tomorrow, we'll send this video off to be posted. This video is already posted, and then we'll post the May 12 video here as well. And then down at the very bottom, you can see some information about the basketball tournament, that is there as well. So the website has a lot of information. So if you can't sleep tonight and you want to look at Red Zone, come to the website and find out all that you need to. A question, if we're staying nearby, yes, no, that's actually not the right answer. When you come to camp, you would go to long-term parking. Online, I'm going to go ahead and just change that. It is not short-term, it's long-term. So let's make sure that we're on the same page there. And then I will post one more time, just this, the website, I guess not one more time, but that is the website if you need it. I do see Jesus has his hand up, and then we'll start to wrap up for tonight. And
I
Leah
have
too.
a hand up too.
Jesus.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to clarify really quick. For those of us staying off site on Sunday morning, for example, we're bringing the trailer full of drums. Is there any way that we can at least put the trailer on the short-term side so we don't have to walk 2 miles with a bunch of drums?
On Sunday?
On Sunday morning, yeah.
Yeah. We could work with you, yes.
Okay, just asking. The rest of the vehicles can go to long term. It's just the trailer with the drums
Yeah.
because we would have to walk all the way in.
Yeah,
with the
that's a
drums.
fair question, and that's a fair request. So yeah, we'll work with you.
All
Pedro.
right. Thank you.
Yes, Leo.
So I received around 5-6 emails today regarding the camping next to the clubs. So the clubs are requesting to camp next to a certain church because either they want to or because they sharing something like a kitchen. So what I'm gonna answer to everyone that I can bring it to attention to Pedro and the campaign director. We cannot promise that, but I can make a list of, because some churches are actually sharing the kitchen and the supplies, the equipment. So I don't know
Correct.
if you would like to address that. And
Yeah. So we will do our best to manage a list. If you send us that you want to be next to a certain club, and this isn't just because my sister or my Pathfinders are best friends with the Pathfinders from this other club. They'll see them all over camp, right? Like they're going to see each other. This is more of they have the kitchen, we're bringing the food, we need to be together because we share that, we're sharing meals together. That's the kind of request that we're looking for. This isn't, man, we really love the people in this club and we're from this club and we just want to be close to each other. We'll try to accommodate that, but what we're really looking for is a request because there's a need, right? There's some need. They have a chuck wagon, we don't. They're cooking our meals, we don't have a way to cook our own meals. Something like that would be more of that request. And we will do our best to accommodate it, but we aren't guaranteeing that every request will be made because sometimes the way things are set up, we've got to work on, and those details don't always aren't always accommodatable. So please let us know. We'll do our best to do it, and please let us know the reason so that we can weigh that in the big picture of how we set things up. All right. Very good. I'm going to start to close us down at this point. If anyone wants to stay on, they can. Thank you for coming to the Red Zone meeting. This is our second one, and we will have a third one on May 12. That is one day after Mother's Day. So an early happy Mother's Day to all the mothers here on the Zoom meeting tonight. Don't forget May 11. You can start hinting to your kids and to your husband. Mother's Day is coming, and they can hopefully take care of you and spoil you and let you know that you are loved. So for being here tonight, we say thank you. I'll close us with a prayer, and then if anyone wants to stay on, they can. If you have other questions, otherwise you can start to click off and finish your evening. Let's pray together. Our God and our Father, thank you for each leader, each director who's on. Thank you that we are able to meet through the Zoom meeting. Thank you for Eartha. Thank you for Leah. Thank you for even Daryl and Evelyn jumping in and helping with information. And I pray that you'll be with all of our teams as we continue to work together, and be with all of our clubs as we continue to support them and do all we can to make this a great weekend for them. We thank you for places like Camp Kalakwa, and we look forward to being together with each other and with you as we celebrate what it looks like to have love unleashed in our lives. We pray that you'll continue to bless our preparation in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Good
Thank
night.
you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.